watching the Habs on a power play right now is like watching a stranger come into your house and piss all over your toilet seat. And last night we had the pleasure of watching it 10 times. Blech. Not good. Not good at all. It seems evident that changes need to be made. So in today's video, we're going to review last night's game against the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to tell you what I would personally do to try and fix it. But first, today's game review is brought to you by the good folks over at Miraj Trading. And I don't know how many of you are keeping tabs on this stuff, but we are now 2 sleeps away from getting our hands on this bad boy right here. The 2025-2026 Series 1 Hobby Box. Everybody and their dogs and cats is going to want one. Everybody's going to be on the hunt for this Ivan Demidov Young Guns card. Let me tell you something, there's no better spot to get your hobby boxes than right here at MirajTrading.com, and you can find all their links in the description of today's video. Alright, here we go. Habs. Shithawks. The puck is dropped, and Ryan Donato, he's about to get the parade to the penalty box started. He's going to fire a puck that goes so far up in the stands it probably hits one of the Ford F-150s that's parked out back. And the big, mighty Habs power play, it gets to flex a little bit. Now, as you can see, their first attempt is mostly ineffective. But just a couple of minutes later, they get to go right back at it again. And this time, it's even going to be a 5-on-3.
You lack discipline.
Now, you'd almost think that the Habs, they're going to cash in on this one. But no. Look at that shit. The 5-on-3 was pathetic. And the only sign of positivity was watching the back check from Ivan Demidov on this play right here. He's going to earn himself some brownie points for that one. But no, they don't score. They even get one more man advantage before the first period comes to an end. But after 20 minutes of play, they're 0 for 4 on the power play. That Nintendo 64 007 gamer score says that they're mostly harmless. So now we're going to move on to the second period where you guessed it, right off the hop, Rye or the Kaiser, this kid's going to pick up a 2-minute minor for just giving Demidov the business behind the play. Now, I'm not even sure what this was all about. But at this point, I was already angry, and on their 5th power play of the game, finally, our little Colinator, he bats one in, and he makes it a 1-goal game. Look at that. Everybody's shocked. Jeff Blashill, he can't even believe it. He thinks that was over the crossbar, but the officials, they're like, no. Stop being stupid. It's Cole Caulfield we're talking about here. That kid, he can't even reach the crossbar. And Blashill was like, wow, good point. I stand corrected. And I also stand about 2 feet taller. Now, luckily for Hawks fans, Sam Renzel, that big, talented young defenseman that they've been bragging about, he's going to answer right back to tie this game up at 1. Now, that was actually the first goal of his career. I think he's going to be a beauty. But even with the game tied up, you'd think these guys would learn something. But one problem still remains for the Hawks. They cannot seem to stay away from the penalty box. Okay, they just can't. It's a problem. They're going after Caden Gooley because they didn't like a clean hit. The Habs, they get to go back to work on power play number 6. And believe it or not, they strike again. The Duke! You just knew it was going to happen eventually. This kid's as hot as the devil's ass crack right now. It's a 2-1 game. However, here we go again. The Hawks, they tie it up pretty quickly. And I was thinking, shit. Frank Nazar banks one in off the pens of Connor Bedard. That one was on the power play, and it was pretty frustrating stuff. For the remainder of this second period, the Hawks, they do what they do best. They take penalties. Some of them, I must admit, were pretty weak. I didn't like all of these calls. And some of them even seemed out of character. Connor Bedard, for some reason, was being a complete Karen out there. I might even have to start calling him Karen Bedard. I really don't want to call him Karen Bedard, but I'm so close. Just taking unsportsmanlike penalties, confirming who's tough. But the Habs get to this point again where no matter how many power plays they get, they can't find a rhythm, okay? They're just shooting blanks at this point. And when the third period begins, you can see this game start to shift in the Hawks' favor a little bit. They're getting some momentum. Samuel Montembeault got pretty busy out there. He made like 12 saves during the third period. At this point, you knew it was going to be a weird one that was going to win this game. And I honestly felt like it was going to be the Hawks. Thought they were doing a tremendous job, especially late in the game. But with 15 seconds left to go and the Habs pushing, Sam Renzel, he gives Spencer Knight a little bump. And Caden Gooley puts home a dagger. Now that was a big one. Because this was a really weird game. I didn't really enjoy this game. But don't ask how you get them. And that's 2 big, ugly ass points that the Canadiens managed to steal away from the Hawks last night. And we should be proud of them. After all, I mean, they're going back home after a road trip. They picked up 4 points out of a possible 6. But still, there's definitely a couple of changes that need to be made, and they need to be addressed in the near future. You see, last night's game provided plenty of evidence. The 2 power play units, they're not working. Since game 1, it hasn't been very effective. Okay? And one thing you're going to notice about last year, let me get us some highlights. The Canadiens power play, it was at its peak when Lane Hutson was the man feeding Patrick Laine. And for some reason, to start this season, these gentlemen are on 2 separate units. Now, I personally don't understand it, even given Laine's 5-on-5 play. This is a proven recipe for success. There's just no reason to split these 2 guys up. And as far as I'm concerned, they need to be reunited on the power play immediately. The second change that I would make, and I know I'm going to get some flack for this one, but if you're not using Slavkovsky for his big frame in front of the net on the first power play unit, then I'd take his ass straight out of there, okay? I'd put him on the second unit. No matter how you slice and dice it, Ivan Demidov is a lot more skilled on that wall than Miraj Slavkovsky. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I love Slavkovsky. I love what he brings to the table, but Demidov is the man who should be to the right of Lane Hutson on the power play. Just saying. And you also got to find a way to get this kid some more ice time. That's a couple of tweaks that I would personally make right away. I mean, the Habs, they get a couple of days off now, which means they get a golden opportunity to fix up some of this stuff before Tuesday night's game. And I really hope I don't come off sounding like a negative Nancy here. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but that was 10 power plays last night. And yes, even though they managed to get their first 2 goals on the power play, in a normal set of circumstances, that game should have never been close heading into the third period with the amount of power plays that the Habs had. I mean, they should have put a stranglehold on these guys, but they couldn't do it. And I think, yes, we can blame the system, we can blame the drop pass, the predictability of what they're about to do, but you can also blame the way that they've been set up. And with the right moves and the right practice, I feel like they can fix it up, and I'm hoping that they get to work on this stuff immediately. But that's going to do it. That's good stuff. Like I said, 4 points out of a possible 6. And if any one of you would like to chime in and let me know what you think would fix up that power play, you can go ahead and let me know down in the comments section. Please don't forget to bang ding out that like button on the way out of here. And hey, well, see you next time.